Is everyone about ready? We'll soon be making
Before we do that, just what exactly should we expect when we get down there?
Kisara has a point.
I'd like to hear more too. It's been centuries since I was last there.
Very well. First and foremost, Lenegis was the base of operations in charge of the Crown Contest. Of course, it also happens to be a city in its own right, complete with its own independent society. Its social structure is based on a strict...
Enough to determine someone's social rank, you mean? But astral arts are innate, right?
They can be honed with the right training, and there are admittedly other factors. As a result, family line...
Those capable of only weak astral arts are effectively... Still.
Thanks for the warning. As a lord, Dohalim must...
Come on, you've seen her skill with astral arts. You really need to ask?
Fair point.
On arts alone, you're right. I'd have been sitting pretty. But you're forgetting my thorns.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's refreshing to be around someone.
Jeez, give backhanded compliments much?
Wait a second. Are you? He is! Law's blushing!
I am not!
Of course, separating people into... as if such simplistic criteria.
So this red woman...
I would wager so. Chances are she's also connected to the Renis Alma.
If the Renis Alma is
That red woman's got a lot to answer for.
We're about to land.
If there are clues about... There's no one here. I wasn't expecting a welcome mat, but still.
Lenegis's infrastructure is largely automated. Besides, people won't be expecting incoming traffic while the Crown Contest is still underway.
Do you think anyone realizes that we're here?
Entrance went unnoticed. Don't let your guard down.
I really hope we don't have to fight anybody while we're here.
So now what? We've come, and if we're lucky, the Renis Alma too. Any idea where we should...
There is an area of the city that is accessible only to the Sovereigns, known as the Forbidden Zone. That seems as good a place as any for us to start.
Forbidden? What are they hiding?
I don't know. In any case, changing the shape of a huge structure such as...
And you think that source might have been the...
Precisely. Alphen said that he remembered the Renis Alma being used in the spirit channeling ceremony 3 centuries ago. Then the Renis Alma might be in the same place as last time, possibly together with the Red Woman.
It stands to reason we should be looking somewhere.
Indeed.
But it's been over 300 years.
There's only one way to find out. If there's even a chance you can get us...
Shion's right.
All right. Beyond that wall lies a city full of Renins. The capital city where Shion and Dohalim used to live, no less. Who knows what we'll find on the other side?
Thinking about what could be lurking out here is giving me the heebie-jeebies.
For such a loudmouth, you sure can be a worrywart at times.
Oh, I'm sorry. How stupid of me for wanting us to stay safe.
Would you two children stop squabbling? Or do you want everyone to know we're here?
So how many Renins actually live in this place?
I couldn't tell you exactly, though not as many as you might expect. Machines and Zeugles take care of most of the city's basic functions.
There's Zeugles out here too, huh? Sounds like we can't afford to let our guard down after all.
What in the world?
This being Renan territory, I was prepared for a lot of things to look different. But this is a bit more than I anticipated.
The very foundations of the city have shifted. What could have caused this?
When Lenegis changed shape, it must have had an effect on the interior, too.
Maybe when they sent the wedge down to Dana?
But they wouldn't move around the places where people live. These are their homes, right?
I would think the citizens themselves didn't have much say in the matter. Either way, locating the Forbidden Zone just became that much trickier.
Dohalim? Is that you?
Avakir, I'm glad to see you're well.
So it is you! But why are you here? Shouldn't you be down on Dana participating in the crown contest? And these people!
So you haven't heard what happened on Dana, then?
Heard what?
Someone you know?
An old friend.
Hey, Dohalim, don't tell me you've started keeping company with...
They're with me. More importantly, what's happened here?
I'm really not sure. The city's foundations began to shift without warning, and now everything looks like this. We're all waiting for the Sovereign to tell us what's happening, but so far...
Avakir, listen to me. We're looking for the Forbidden Zone. Do you have any idea where we might find it?
The Forbidden Zone? What business could you possibly have there?
Trust me. The less you know, the better.
You're just the same as ever. I wish I could help, but what with the changed topography, I can barely locate my own home. Let alone the Forbidden Zone.
Very well. It looks like we'll have to find the way there ourselves.
Have you seen Faria yet?
No.
I see. Well, nothing much has changed with her. If anything, she's probably even more...
I can well imagine.
Why did you come back? You know it can only result in pain for you both.
I've no doubt of that.
You really are the same as ever. Fine, I understand. Just don't say I didn't warn you. And take care of yourself. Okay, Do?
So who's Faria?
Law?
If what Avakir said is...
They seem to be just as clueless about what's going on up here in their own world. Despite the fact that it's actually here that the wedge originally came from.
We need more information. Let's talk to the citizens. See...
While we're at it, we can ask them about the Red Woman, too.
And don't forget about finding the way to the Forbidden Zone either.
Let's leave the talking to Shion.
Good idea.
I shall assist.
You sure?
Being a lord on Lenegis has its advantages.
Right. Then we'll leave it to... The Danans among us should probably keep our heads down.
What if...
What could be so important? It's worth destroying people's livelihoods and homes in the process. It's just... unbelievable. Uprooting an entire city as if it were mere building blocks.
From how it looks, they must be siphoning off astral energy from Dana, and then sending it to Rena.
But why do all this? What for? Surely they can't...
Whatever their purpose, disrupt...
He's right. We need to stop this from happening ever again.
This Forbidden Zone might be where we find some answers.
You heard him. We don't have time to stop and chat.
So, I've been wondering, do you think when Lenegis was built, it was even made with people living here in mind?
What do you mean?
Well, none of this happened by coincidence, right? But then, if they knew people were going to live here, you'd think they would have taken that...
Ordinarily, yes. You'd think so. Trust me, as far as we were concerned, it makes you wonder whether the city was just built on as an afterthought. But if so, to what exactly?
Sorry. That probably sounded weird, huh?
Not at all. Sometimes it takes... This place is a mystery, that's for sure. Something tells me we'll find answers where we're going, though.
Yeah.
What an unspeakable mess this has all become. Whatever did we do to deserve this?
You really have no clue what might have caused this?
Would that I have. Alas, there was no warning, no prior decree. His Highness, we have no choice but to grin and bear it. But do my eyes deceive me? Could I really be standing in the presence of his lordship, Dohalim of the House Ilkaris? I believed he was on Dana.
Your eyes do not deceive you. It is I, one and the same. I have returned to fulfill a special duty, the details of which I cannot divulge.
As your lordship wishes. First Lenegis mutates beyond recognition, now this unexpected visit. The Sovereign's plans are inscrutable indeed. The Ilkaris house has produced a great many lords over the centuries. I shall be praying for your victory in the latest crown contest.
Your good wishes do me an honor.
Everything will be okay now.
I know the basics of healing arts, but my skills pale in comparison.
Your lordship! Oh, what a great honor it is to finally meet you. I descended to Dana during the last crown contest also. Alas, when the contender I was backing failed to clinch the title, I returned. I witnessed the deaths of so many slaves.
Indeed.
Sorry to interrupt, but we're looking for a woman dressed all in red. Have you seen anyone of that description?
All red, eh? No, I can't say I remember anyone like that. I imagine she'd stand out somewhat, too.
Yeah. What about down on Dana during the crown contest? You didn't see anyone like that hanging around the lord you were serving?
What's with all these questions? I've never seen her, okay? Not recently or otherwise. Why do you want to find her anyway?
Never mind. Forget I asked. Sorry to take up your time. Is everything okay? You look a little lost.
Oh, yes. I can't seem to find my way home, is all. I was just about to make my umpteenth attempt at a new route.
I was hoping to head this way myself. The situation is a real pain, huh?
I suppose the Sovereign knows best. I daren't stay here too long, though. A lower caste can only linger around these parts for so long before I outstay my welcome. I was hoping to avoid it, but maybe I'll have to go that way after all.
You mean you know another way round?
Lord Dohalim Ilkaris! But how? Last I heard, you were in Dana competing in the crown contest.
Yes, strange, isn't it? If you know another route, we'd be grateful if you could tell us.
But of course, I thought maybe it was a passageway between the different quarters, but I've no way of knowing for sure.
It's worth investigating, at least. I shall go and assess the situation. In the meantime, wait for me here. If it looks safe, I'll come and let you know.
You'd really do that for me? A lord troubling himself for someone of my lowly...
Our lot in life is of little consequence.
Oh, why yes, my lord.
Well, we've canvassed the city for information. What do you think?
No one has the faintest idea what's happened to the city after all. They haven't heard the news about the crown contest either.
You'd think that info would easily find its way up here. Has it always been like that?
Not to this extent. Which would indicate that something's...
Given everything that's happened to...
Yeah. That one guy even said...
Everything that happens here is attributed to the Sovereign's will. Nothing happens devoid of a reason.
The Sovereign's plan. There is one thing I'm still not sure about. Just who is this person ruling over...
The Sovereign, of course. He rules from Rena while presiding over both Rena and Lenegis.
Without the lords or anyone in... That's a pretty big dominion for one person to rule over. I would have thought ruling Lenegis alone would be difficult enough.
And the points you make are valid. Come to think of it, Shion, have you...
No, I haven't.
Neither have I.
Hold up, what are you getting at, Dohalim?
Assuming what I believe to be...
But what about trade?
Not if the Sovereign...
But I thought you... What if something were to happen?
I'm beginning to... But Sovereign is also the title given to the almighty Renan ruler.
Whoever wins the crown contest inherits the throne from his or her predecessor, before becoming ruler over all of Rena and Lenegis. Thereafter, that individual is known as the Sovereign. As for how Volron factors into all this, at this point, I no longer know what to believe.
3 centuries ago, I became the Sovereign here on Lenegis. 300 years later, we cross paths with Volron, who also bears the Sovereign's crest. That's not the only thing we have in common. We both became Sovereign without winning the crown contest.
Do you think Volron was made Sovereign for the same reason? Because of that ceremony?
I can't say for sure, but it certainly sounds like it.
But that would mean that 2 sovereigns would need to exist at any one time. We never did see Volron. Is a new ceremony?
Wait a second. You don't think Volron and the Red Woman are The ceremony can't go forward.
There's something else the ceremony needs.
Questions.
If the Forbidden Zone really is off limits to everyone...
Then it's decided. That's where we need to go.
One of the citizens mentioned a passage that she thought might lead to another section of the city. Let's go find it! I didn't realize Renans oppressed their own kind, too.
And yet, weirdly, none of them seem to mind. Am I the only one who finds that strange?
It is the way things have always been, so no one thinks to question it. You have experience in that regard yourself, do you not?
Unquestioning acceptance of your own servitude. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Even so, the quality of life here seems much higher than any Dahnan city we visited. I used to think it was impossible to build an ideal society without wealth. But I suppose having it doesn't always mean people are treated fairly either.
More to the point, not a single citizen seems to have even heard of the Red Woman.
What if she's not here? What if it turns out we're looking in the wrong place entirely?
It's still too early to say anything for sure.
For all we know, she might be able to blend in, move around unnoticed. I say we hold off judgment until we've exhausted every avenue.
Tell me, Dohalim, has that skill of yours got a name?
And what skill would this be, pray tell?
You know, when you're talking to people around town. The way they suddenly become putty in your hands.
I'm afraid I don't quite follow.
I do. It's called friendly intimidation. Look imposing and speak in a deep, booming voice, and presto, you'll have people wrapped around your finger in no time.
I would never stoop to such scandalous tricks. Any feelings of intimidation are solely in the eye of the beholder.
So there is a knack to it! How do you learn it? Can anyone do it?
Now you've got me curious. Is there special training to master?
Let's see. An obsession with being elegant is a must. Oh, and it helps to be old-fashioned, too. Bonus points if you speak in a way no one can understand.
If you've a bone to pick with me, it'd be quicker to just come out and say it.
What? They look up to you, that's all. I'm just helping them along.
Hey! What's got into Alphen and Law all of a sudden?
I can barely understand a word they're saying. And what's with the weird poses? Was it something they ate?
I hope you're willing to take the blame.
I wasn't expecting them to take...
With nobody left to run the show, I wonder what the people here are supposed to do. I mean, they're...
But Dohaly only...
Even if the other lords were still around, I doubt they'd be able to do much about the situation.
I wonder what they'd think of Alsif, Ganabelt, now that I think of it.
Well, yeah, why would we? To us Danans, they were just enemies we needed to overthrow. Nothing more.
I know.
It feels...
Yeah.
If you're that curious about them, every lord in their... And luckily for us.
Yeah!
Balsef had it in him to care about someone other than himself? Really?
It's possible. A change in position can do much to alter one's perspective.
So even he might have had something he wanted to protect.
I guess she intended to spread it throughout all of Lenegis then.
Good thing the lines were down so she couldn't.
It almost sounded like she was praising them too.
Maybe there was more to the guy than at first glance.
I shall refrain from commenting.
What?
Ganabelt was so horrible to people. Yet he was invested in helping Rena succeed. Doesn't that seem just a little inconsistent?
I'm perhaps biased in this matter, I admit. However, in my mind, while all lords vie to become the next sovereign, they're also meant to serve as guardians of all of Rena.
It seems like Ganabelt also had people he cared about until the very end.
So why couldn't he extend that to us Danans?
This area doesn't look as badly damaged as that other district we went through.
Indeed, the effects of Lenegis's transformation appear to be less pronounced here. Or, viewed another way, this area was simply luckier.
Pardon me.
I guess her willingness to stoop to any low came from a survival of the fittest worldview.
And some people here not only shared her belief, but championed it as morally right too.
That doesn't make it true. Too bad they couldn't see through her.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Okay. Ah!
It seems like the people on Lenegis don't really know much about Volron either.
I remember being quite surprised when the Lord of Ganath Harros changed so abruptly.
Didn't you have any doubts that something suspicious was going on?
On the contrary. Remember, we Renans are raised to accept everything at face value.
When you think about it, the families of Renan lords must see them differently than the rest of us.
Yeah, despite the brutality they're known for.
They must have had a lot on their shoulders, carrying all the weight and responsibilities of Renan society.
Renans live in a world where strength and power determine their position in the social hierarchy, so they tend to grow up fiercely competitive. But their loyalty to their people is also strong. It's what brings them together against outside forces, and nothing exemplifies that more than the Lords.
That's what makes them the guardians of all of Renna, so to speak.
Right. It's the same reason Balsif hated my guts, and Ganabelt went after you. Because we're threats to Renna.
Guess that makes you an even bigger oddball than we thought.
So, Alphen, have you gained anything from all of this?
Yeah. I think it's made me realize that the Lords were all people, too. Balsif and the others, they all had their own circumstances to deal with as they went through life.
Yeah, but still, just because they had loved ones in their lives doesn't mean...
I know. What they did was horrible. I'm not trying to dispute that. But at the same time, they weren't incomprehensible monsters either. They were individuals, just like the rest of us. So I guess what I'm trying to say is...
You're saying that they weren't bad because they were Renans, or because they were terrible monsters. Even if they did terrible things, they were still just people.
Rinwell.
Am I wrong?
Not at all.
Being a Dahnan doesn't make you a good person. And being a Renan doesn't make you a bad one. I think that's something we've all seen.
Shionne and Dohalim definitely make a good case for it.
And I'm going to keep doing my best to make sure I earn that trust. As a fellow human being above all else.
What's this thing? There's something I just don't get.
What is it?
The crown contest itself has always gone ahead as planned, right? In which case, the current sovereign...
Yeah, that makes sense.
So, who was it then?
Hanfried Milgras, the former Lord of Cyslodia, if memory serves.
So then this Hanfried whatchamacallem, he's the current ruler of Renna?
The last I heard, yes. Though admittedly...
You're saying that ever...
I guess over Hollow...
Now that you mention it, I don't...
And that never struck you as a little...
When you
A new Renis all... In other words, if that's true, there should be as many of the things up...
True, but if even...
You and me both.
With any luck.
No use standing around here chat.
Doe?
Faria.
Varia? Isn't that the person that Avakir guy was...
But why are you here? Wait, don't tell me nothing to say. Even though you were willing to kill?
I'm here to take care of something. If you wish to continue this...
Oh, of course. You always did prefer to take the coward's way out. Even after 7 years and living on that Dahnan rock, you haven't changed one bit. But let me tell you, I haven't changed either. Not a day's gone by the past 7 years that I haven't hated you.
If killing me will bring you peace, then so be it.
Dohalim, what the hell are you saying?
First, I have business to take care of. If it's vengeance you seek, I will grant you it. But you must wait. My sins are legion. Let me finish what I came to do. Then you have my word. I will let you do whatever brings you peace.
Sure, that's it. Run away like always. You don't even have the courage to die. No wonder you leave it to someone else. You're just a coward!
Dohalim.
I apologize that you had to witness that.
Is it true? What she said about you killing someone?
Each of us have our pasts. I am no exception.
Before, back in Menancia, you mentioned having taken a friend's life over the throne. Is that what she meant?
The mistakes I made there were not my first, and may not be my last. I will say no more.
Did you mean what you said? About letting her take your life if she wanted to?
She has more right to my life than anyone.
But you can't just...
Whatever happens, I have sworn to put an end to the crown contest, and to ensure continued coexistence in Menancia. I have no intention of expiring before I do so. There are far too many questions I still seek answers to. Besides, you have just as much reason to kill me as she does.
Dohalim!
Forgive me. Some things are best left unsaid.
I can't wait to start making our meal.
Ooh, we having something new to eat?
Yep, now that we have all the ingredients.
Wow, this place is beautiful!
Yeah. It must be some sort of rest and leisure area for the locals.
You think? Man, these Renan sure know how to live it up, don't they?
Is something the matter, Dohalim?
Before I went down to Dana, my friends and I, we used to gather at this very spot and play music together. Avakir, Faria, and Tarnagin. That was a lifetime ago now.
Tarnagin. He was the one that Faria mentioned, right?
He was once my dearest, closest friend. As well as Faria's betrothed. Despite Faria's lower-class upbringing, she possesses a tremendous talent for music. Entranced by her playing, I helped her overcome her sense of inferiority and introduced her to Tarnagin and Avakir. It was a time of great joy, 4 people bound only by their love of music, with no care for social standing. Only the next song, the next melody.
A friendship based on mutual respect, and a society where everyone is a prisoner to their social class. You really are different, Dohalim.
I suppose it's natural you would see it as strange.
I would have, once. Now, I think the idea of breaking away from society's constraints and choosing your friends based solely on affection is something beautiful that's worth cherishing. Besides, it was that way of looking at the world that laid the foundations for coexistence in Menancia.
Your praise does me too great an honor. I was merely following the wishes of my own heart. And even then, it only lasted until the crown contest began. After that, Tarnagin and I became fierce competitors for the position of Lord. Tarnagin had fallen for Faria. By becoming Lord, he aimed to wrest her from her humble origins and raise her to the highest echelons of society. But fate was not so benevolent.
What happened?
Tarnagin was no match for me in combat. On a level playing field, he wouldn't have stood a chance. But he was desperate and low on options, and he couldn't stand the thought of defeat.
You mean he resorted to dirty tactics to try to win, right? But then why does Faria think... Wait, don't tell me she doesn't know.
How could I tell her? Combined with the trauma of losing her beloved, and by her friend's hand, no less, she would have been devastated.
So instead you let her go on hating you, so she could use that hate as a crutch for her grief?
That's not the same as running away, though.
It is exactly the same. Unable to face the loss of my friend and the burden of my duty, instead I decried my fate and looked away from what I'd done. As for what happened after, that you already know.
But if you hadn't become Lord, Menancia wouldn't be what it is now. The Dahnans there would still be suffering under Renan oppression like before.
Shion's right. What other lord would have treated me as you did? You've saved so many people, Dohalim. You saved me. So, try not to blame—
Frank as always, but I shall do—
Do you think he'll be all right?
Yeah,
It's important.
I didn't realize how—
Sometimes just...
I hope you're right. Alphen.
Yeah?
I never appreciated until recently just how much you were always there to support me.
It goes both ways. You've helped me keep going more times than I can count.
Maybe. But I still wanted to say thank you.
I see a medic and supply officer over there. If they know you're with me, they'll likely offer their assistance.
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
Done. This is sure to give the others some much-needed energy.
Damn it! Lenegis soldiers!
Any way we can avoid fighting them?
That all depends on them. Whatever happens, be ready.
Well, so much for them not wanting to fight.
Host! I am Lord Dohalim of Elder Menancia. I command you.
The rest of the city must be erased.
No. Have they been brainwashed too?
Brainwashed or not, if they want to fight, they got one.
I'm already started!
Try harder!
Astral Arts?
That's my cue!
Shut him down!
Split it open!
Be my guest!
You going?
Being interrupted. Smash you!
My shield?
Mission!
This one's all mine! Back to your blade! I'm ready! Dance on the wing!
This one!
Soaring light spear!
All yours, Kisara.
Make it rain!
In a bind?
By the
Switch
power of water!
Those soldiers seem different from this.
Yeah, they weren't big talk.
They weren't in the least bit fazed by...
Indeed. And yet, traditionally,
Their glazed-over eye?
I've never seen anything like...
Maybe someone doesn't...
What, with the Red Woman?
We're in for a long slog with this one. Look sharp. Anything in armor is all mine.
Rising Wyvern! Lunarongo! Take this!
Your reflexes will not serve you well, Pete.
There! Rising Wyvern! Lunarongo!
Hurricane flight.
Damn it! Too fast!
Stand back.
Dragon
I'll
Swarm!
trip it up.
Vacuum Blade!
Finish without a trick.
Rising Wyvern!
Hurricane flight.
You're mine! My turn! Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade! You're mine! I'm not done!
Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite. On your...
Rising Wyvern! Lunarongo! Air Pressure!
It's hard.
Here I come! No
Stalagmite.
escape!
Glacial Spear!
There!
Here's Evil!
Rising Wyvern! Lunarongo! Soaring Light Spear!
Bloody hell.
Rising Falcon!
Resonate with the earth. Stalagmite.
Burn!
Air pressure.
Here I come!
Frozen!
Hammer.
A comfortable win.
Gotta break through! Dragon
Resonate
Swarm!
with the earth.
normal creepy crawlies aren't
Rising
disgusting
Viper!
enough.
Lunar Rocket!
Hurricane strike!
Dragon Swarm!
Going in.
There! Rising Viper!
Lunar corruption!
Soaring Light Spear!
Pressure move!
Rising Falcon!
Chronotop field!
I'll burn it all!
Stop its charge!
Thanks, Kisara.
Ah! Flaming Pillar! Fire! Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine! Piercing
Vacuum Blade! Rising Nightmare!
Rotating Pile Driver!
This one's mine.
Heal! I owe you one.
Hurricane corruption!
There! It's
Lunar
done!
blast!
Rising Viper! Lunar Rondo!
Crescent moon!
Rising Sun! Burn!
Tiger blade! Burn!
Take this!
Round and power!
Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade!
There! Go!
Rising Viper!
Elusive Steel!
Vacuum Blade!
Rotating Pile Driver!
Soaring blast! This one's mine!
Benediction Light.
Explosion!
Dragon Swarm!
Burning strike!
Vacuum Blade! Rising Viper!
Good her bad!
Negative Gate!
You made me angry! That was a bad idea! Turn up!
Bloody Howler!
Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade! Rising Viper!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolitor!
Into the shadows!
Dragon Swarm!
By the power of
Go
the
in!
Let's break this match!
Crescent moon!
This one's all mine! Vacuum Blade!
Fury! Burning
Try harder!
Allow me to help.
Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade!
Radiant!
Rising Sun!
Light.
Dragon Swarm!
Here I go!
Vacuum Blade! Rising Viper! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear!
I'm ready!
Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
We're still standing. Barely. We're in for a long slog with this one.
I see one, eh? Try harder! No! Dragon Swarm!
Can't get out of this!
I can read your moves like a book.
Engaging! Fire support! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! No escape! Rising Falcon! I'm not done! It's over!
Elusive Steel!
Dragon Swarm! There! Rising Viper! Lunar Rondo!
Elusive Steel!
Soaring Light Spear! Rising... I'll burn it all! Ah! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Lightning! Downfall!
Leave the ensnaring to me. Yeah! And humbling to me!
Rising Viper! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! You're mine! You're finished! Rising Falcon!
Make it rain!
Kisara!
Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Let's give it a whirl!
Blood! Rending you apart!
Hurricane flame! By the power of flame! Finish without a trace!
Dragon Swarm!
Negative
There!
I'm ready! It's over! Astral energy! Full throttle!
I'm ready for the next battle.
Right, here goes! You got spirit!
Going in!
Dragon Swarm!
Inferno crossing!
Vacuum Blade!
Lunar corruption!
Rising
They really
Viper!
don't give up, do they?
Soaring Light Spear! Enough time! It's over! Rising
We'll soon see about that.
Here's evil!
Vacuum Blade! Try harder! Not yet! Vacuum Blade!
It's over!
Rising Rising Wyvern!
Searing Flame!
Lunar Rondo!
Bloody
I'm not done!
I'm all stopped up!
This one's all mine! There!
Lunar Corruption!
Rising Wyvern!
Crescent Moon!
Did you see this coming?
Elusive deity!
By the blazing beam!
Dragon Form! Vacuum Blade!
Rending you apart! Blood... My exploits are bearing fruit.
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them Let's see what you've got.
Dragon Form!
Everlasting! Here, let me help!
Seismic rupture!
Rising Wyvern! Time to cross blade!
This one's fear! Hurricane Strike!
Dragon Form!
Freeze Lancer!
There!
Benediction light.
Rising Wyvern!
Heal!
Soaring Light Spear!
Radiant
You're mine! I'm not done!
Here's a healing art! First aid! Hurricane
Here I come!
Feast
Here we go!
water! Gemini Aqua!
Dragon Form!
Hurricane Strike!
Vacuum Blade! Rising Wyvern!
Glacial Spear! Hurricane Strike! Feast Assault!
I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare Demolisher!
Dragon Form!
With the earth! Feast Assault! Without a
Here
trace!
I come!
Where are you going?
Bloody howling! On your...
This one keeps charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get
Vacuum
behind
Blade!
me!
Got it! I'll leave it to you! Lunar Rondo!
Going in!
You're mine!
By the power of flame! Vanish without a trace! Hurricane
Dragon
Strike!
Form!
Look sharp!
There!
Feast Assault!
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo!
Fury!
Soaring Light Spear! You picked the wrong fight! Dragon Form! I owe you one! Rising Wyvern! Take this!
By the power of water!
Can you take it? I'll blind you with a
This one's mine!
I'm not done!
Hurricane Strike! Feast Assault!
Rending you apart! Bloody
Dragon Form!
Hurricane Strike!
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Take this!
Hurricane Strike!
Right! I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire!
Here's a healing art! First aid!
Dragon Form! Take this! Try harder! Not a chance! Dragon Form!
Hurricane Strike! Feast Assault!
Try harder! Now! Dragon Form! Vacuum Blade! Rise to this!
Going in!
The flame inside me! Yours! To be ready free!
Feast Assault!
Try harder!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Don't push yourself too hard.
choice! Take this!
By the power of water!
Dragon Swarm!
This one's mine!
Elusive deity!
Hurricane power!
Rising Wyvern!
These ones can run rings around us. Here's a healing art.
Ignite! I owe you one! Dragon Swarm!
Beast assault!
Lunar corruption.
Dragon
Swarm! Do it! Don't believe!
All yours, Kisara!
Dragon
Lunar
Swarm!
corruption.
Vacuum Blade!
Lunar blast.
Rising Wyvern! Soaring Light Spear!
Here.
I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire! Dragon Form! Death! Dragon Form! Vacuum Blade! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! No escape! It's over! The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Make it break!
Go for it.
Prepare to crumble! Any injuries?
Coming through!
Now you'll learn!
Dragon Form! Burn!
So much for topping it out!
Bring him down! Dragon Form! There!
Inferno crossing!
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear!
No ground to break this!
Rising Falcon!
You require
No escape! Try hard!
Arts being interrupted!
Dragon
Now you've gone and ticked me off! I'll take you all on! Ha! Flare the Malisa!
Here
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
On your knees!
Switch time! Hurricane strike!
Resonate with the
Make it break! Ring light!
Frozen.
Hammer!
Here's evil.
Tiger Blade! Hurricane strike!
Look shot!
Do it!
Elusive deed! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Am I on a roll or what?
Well, look who's in a bright and shiny mood.
Right, here you go!
Can't get out of this!
Dragon Form! There!
Tiger Blade!
Rising Wyvern!
Tell me, have you ever considered your purpose?
Soaring Light Spear! Take this! It's over!
Resonate with
Soaring
the
Light
earth!
Spear! Rising Falcon!
Dance on the wind!
Inferno crossing!
Hear my call. Here's Hazel.
Dragon Swarm! Vacuum Blade! Rising Wyvern!
Here's a
Lunar
hero.
Rondo!
Hurricane
Soaring Light Spear! Lunar Rondo! Rising Falcon!
Lunar blast.
Beast Assault! There! Rising Wyvern! Try harder! No!
Do it. Astral energy. Full throttle.
Bring it! Lunar Corruption! Lunar Blast!
Dragon Swarm!
We're not finished!
Resonate with you! Dragon Swarm!
Plasmite!
Vacuum Blade!
Glacial Spear! Here's evil!
I'll burn it all! Flaming Pillar! Fire! I can feel my power growing!
This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Dahnan. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dahna. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imeris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Dahnan astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegis. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? Never known Faria to control Zugos like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handled the Zugos, then we kept some answers.
Look for the weak point!
Assault!
Rising Wyvern!
Hurricane Strike! Gemini
Soaring
Onslaught!
Light Spear! You're mine!
Beast Assault! Pierce!
Negative gate! A charge like that could easily...
Just as well, I'm here to stop.
There!
This way!
Rising Wyvern!
Time to shine!
Soaring Light Spear! Take this!
This one's mine!
Lunar Rondo!
Lunar
Dragon Swarm!
Hurricane Strike!
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear!
Use its weak point to take it down.
All together, everyone!
Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm! Ignite! Rising Wyvern!
Lunar with the earth!
It's over! Soaring Light Spear! Rising Star! Here I come! Lunar Kick!
Scream fate!
Dragon Swarm!
Here I go!
Rising Wyvern!
I'm ready!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Benediction.
Dragon Swarm!
Lunar
There!
Illuminate
Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Here I come! Lunar Kick! Here comes the big one! Dragon Swarm!
Radiant Flood! Back into the fray! Lightning Orb! More where that came from! Lightning Descent! Mine! Thunder Blade! Illuminate the top!
Not now, not ever!
Don't suffer in silence.
Mega Ray! Chinese Supernova!
Burn!
Here's a healer! Illuminate the top! Holy Glitter! Holy Land!
Rising Wyvern!
Between heaven and
Lunar
earth!
Rondo! Soaring
Away
Light
with
Spear!
Dancy of
Here I
Lightning!
come!
Radiant Flood!
Enough of this!
In here! Lightning! I'll be able!
Dragon Swarm! Dragon Swarm!
Supernova!
There!
Don't suffer
More
in
where that
silence.
came from!
Rising
Lightning
Wyvern!
Descent! Thunder Blade! Chain between heaven and earth! Away with
Dragon
Dancy of
Swarm!
Lightning! It's weakened!
This ends now! Rising Wyvern! Lunar Rondo! Soaring Light Spear! Here I come!
More where that
Enough
came from!
done!
Mega Ray! Thunder Blade!
Here I come!
Illuminate the I didn't think you had it in you.
Okay, this will be time to congratulate you later.
Nothing much I can say to that.
I couldn't make it in time.
Sleep now.
From
More for
beyond,
the stockpile.
imbued. From beyond,
Here's the
imbued its sacred soul with love. I need something.
Needs to be healed.
How the mighty have fallen.
That'll bring you down.
field! Here I go!
Dragon Swarm!
I'm only getting started! Ready? Here!
Rising Wyvern!
Lightning
Luna
Aura!
Rondo!
More with that
Soaring
team!
Red Spear! Here I come! Crush!
Thunderblade!
Get attack!
Right, watch out! Lightning control! Thunderblade! Illuminate the dark! I'm all stopped!
It's in your hands now.
Stay away from my friend!
Back from death a wailing banshee of
This one's
lightning!
all mine!
Resuscitation here! Here, let me help!
Dragon Swarm!
Light astral energy!
There!
Here I go!
Rising Wyvern! Luna Rondo!
Air pressure!
Soaring Red
Resonate with
Spear!
the... Now we're
Come
not...
on!
Stalagmite! On your...
Easter!
More for the side! Lunar
Dragon
Collection!
Swarm! Remote!
Astral energy!
Say no more.
Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnagin, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones, if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almeidria. As for Tarnagin, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear, but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right? Let's move on.
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
That was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shionne's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion!
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shionne's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally, we begin to understand what the thorns are.
Yes, and their source. A ceremony that occurred 3 centuries ago.
But we still don't know how to get rid of them. I just hope we can find a way.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent.
Soon, I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever, I just need a little time.